You know, you had these records from Walter Reed on the autopsies, and you talked about the fact they had this scaly skin that was put together in a certain fashion and so on. Did they ever come to a conclusion like these were manufactured biological robots, or?
The only conclusion was I think we all came to this together because of the sex organs and the different organs in the lymph systems, lungs and stomach. But it was a clone. Now, if you go back to the days of the Sumerians, they call them EGs. They say they were ferry drivers, is what they are. The real ones up there, the motherships. Now, no one's ever explored the Sumerian. Sitkin wrote this. Nobody's ever explored the Sumerian civilization. I think the key is there. They disappeared after a while. I think the Sumerians maybe were the mothership. And they tried to wipe out the human race, in those days. But anyway, you got to go back in history and see the Sumerians, what they say. And they called them EGs, I-G-I-G-I-S.
You think they were manufactured for space travel or time travel or something?
Well, I think they were manufactured as servants. Now, my theory is, what do they want? Here, do they want a new race? Because one of the strangest things, as far as I'm concerned, is on these mutilations, they took the sex organs. And the nearest thing to the human sex organ are cattle sex organs. And by the way, they cut those with a type of laser cutter, which didn't even cut through the cells.
Cut around them, yeah.
Cut around the cells. That's how perfect it was.
Hey,
we have no such thing. A handheld cutter, a laser, we have no such thing.
Your familiarity with that stuff is based on reading you did after the program.
What, the
cattle and...
yeah, this didn't happen in 1975. Right. You see, at the time, AIDS wasn't on the board. There was nothing. This came after, because of the experience that I had with this stuff. Then it starts matching up.
What do you think happened to the program after you left? I mean, did it go on? Was Trudeau still involved with it and had somebody else?
No, because I knew Trudeau until the old man died about 2 years ago. 3 years ago he died. And we were always close friends. We always stayed in touch.
Did he ever comment continuously on this program?
Yeah, we discussed it at times. I used to go to his house in the morning for breakfast.
Right.
And then one day I got up there, instead of eating in the kitchen with the general, the wife had the big fancy dining room fixed up. I told, "What's up, Rosalie?" She said, "Phil, he's been offered a job as assistant chairman of the board of North American Rockwell, and he says there's a conflict of interest. Would you talk to him? He'll listen to you." So we sat down at breakfast, and the occasion came up. I told him, "General, maybe I'm getting stupid, I don't understand, but where's the conflict of interest? I don't understand where it is." He said, "Well, I think there is, Phil." I told him, "I can't see it, General. The old man, old Colonel Rockwell, wants you." He took the job.
Oh, good.
And Rosalie thanked me, said he wouldn't listen to me. He said, "But he'll listen to you."
But, I mean, do you think the program ended when you left it? Or was there some kind of continuation?
I think it ended. Remember, it took the driving force of Trudeau behind it. As I told you, when I wrote proposals or I discussed something, what he did with it, I don't know. Some of it went to industry. Who he passed it to, who he discussed it with, I don't know. You don't go ask the general, "Who'd you talk to?" I mean, that's just like asking President Eisenhower, "Who'd you talk to? Who'd you tell?" I didn't ask a lieutenant general that.
You had mentioned, for example, the chip. It went to Bell Laboratories and later to Rockwell?
Yes, I knew that.
But, I mean, you handed over to Bell?
No, I didn't hand anything into industry. That wasn't my job. I did proposals. There was set up in R&D to do that type of business. They would follow up the proposals and the thing. And then they would call me, I would go visit the production models. That I would call an industry to do.
How did was it your charred chip and your file that ended up at Bell?
Let's say my proposal, Trudeau would get it, and then it would be written in terms of R&D, without my comments, and that would go to Bell Lab. We had an actual. There was 3,000 people in R&D.
Right.
They had sections that did exactly that. That wasn't my job to do
Right.
that.
But what I'm trying to trace back to is, did Bell Labs actually get a charred ship and wondered?
Yeah,
where...
they did. They did. Now that I knew things like that.
But how did that happen? You know, how it ended up in their
the
possession?
general would send it out as an assist, and they thought we stole it from the Russians. So we didn't say anything about it. Let them think I'd say one thing.
So what you did was to write what we call a request for proposal.
I'd write the proposal.
Okay.
With the comments.
It was you wrote the proposal, or did you write the request for proposal, something that they would then respond to, but putting out enough information to steer them?
No, I would write only a proposal on all the facts with the headings on and hand it to the general.
Okay.
He would hand it to other people to put in the form to go to the industry.
Okay.
That was his.
Okay.
That wasn't my job.
Okay.
I wouldn't go that far. But then I would get instructions on him to follow things up, which I would go. Like I went to the lab on night viewing, and I'd go to Rockwell, TRW, and places like that. On his instructions now.
Now you mentioned that there was a fabric found that was, couldn't be x-rayed through?
No, not it couldn't be x-rayed through, it couldn't cut it.
Or couldn't cut it?
Mm.
Where did that come from?
From the UFO thing.
So that was on the bodies or something?
No, it was separate. Like debris.
Mm-hmm.
Now you had mentioned also that NSA was picking up signals from space. I mean, did they?
Oh yeah, they were intelligent signals given out by an intelligent source. They couldn't identify the source or break the code though.
How far back was that?
Oh, this was in the 50s. Not at the White House. I used to get the NSA intercepts. Congressmen, senators calling overseas. I would actually get those. I had access to those at the White House. They would actually send them to me. I had their clearance too, you know.
Did they ever officially decide these signals were extraterrestrial?
No, not that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I would read the report, and usually, I wasn't even briefing the general every day then. I was at the White House. I wasn't with him every day like when I was in R&D.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'd read it, and that was it. What was I going to do with it? Who was I going to give it to? I'd talk with my principal, maybe C.D. Jackson, but that would end. It wasn't. You see, when you say that, a lot of people, remember this was not an organized thing in a big scale. It was something that we were doing almost in our spare time. I tell people that wasn't my primary job. I had so many other duties. And it's hard for people to believe that, but that's the way it was.